Mark sat at his kitchen table, staring at the $100,000 mountain of debt he had accumulated. Credit cards maxed out, a plummeting credit score of 360, and the fear that his future would always be tied to financial struggle. But Mark wasn't ready to accept that fate. He decided that no matter what, he would transform his financial situation in 1 year. Month 1. The reality check. Mark started by taking stock of everything. He gathered all his bills, credit card statements, and bank records. Seeing everything in front of him was painful, but necessary. He created a detailed budget, but the first month was full of trial and error. He misjudged his spending habits and had to adjust multiple times. To stay on track, he downloaded a budgeting app to help him monitor his expenses daily. The first step was cutting out unnecessary spending. He canceled subscriptions he didn't need, stopped eating out, and set a goal to cut his grocery bill in half. He also reached out to his credit card companies and lenders, negotiating lower interest rates and payment plans where possible. Month 2 to 3, side hustles and income boosting. Mark realized that cutting costs alone wouldn't be enough to make a dent in $100,000 of debt. He needed to make more money. He picked up a second job on evenings and weekends as a delivery driver. He also started freelancing in graphic design, a skill he had let sit idle for years. At first, balancing 2 jobs was exhausting, and there were times when he wanted to quit. But Mark knew that each extra dollar was a step toward financial freedom. He even began selling unused items from his house, making extra cash from what he no longer needed. Month 4. The debt snowball. Mark was making more money now, and he decided to follow the debt snowball method. He started by paying off his smallest debts first, gaining momentum as he knocked out each one. The sense of accomplishment kept him motivated. Even though he had larger debts looming, focusing on small wins kept him going. He paid off his first credit card, and that small victory energized him to keep going. Trial and error continued. At one point, Mark missed a payment and saw his credit score dip slightly. But he learned from the mistake and set up automatic payments to avoid it happening again. Month 5 to 6, improving credit score. Mark knew that getting his credit score up from 360 was going to be just as important as getting out of debt. He worked on diversifying his credit portfolio. He took out a small secured loan to show he could handle different types of credit responsibly and began paying it off early each month. He also signed up for a secured credit card, using it only for essential purchases and paying the balance in full each month. Slowly but surely, his credit score began to rise. Month 7 to 8. Emergency fund and investing. As Mark's income increased and his debts slowly decreased, he set up an emergency fund, starting with just $1,000. Knowing that he had some financial buffer gave him peace of mind and kept him from relying on credit cards for emergencies. At this point, he started looking into investing. Although he was still focused on getting out of debt, Mark set aside a small portion of his side hustle earnings to put into index funds. He knew that while debt freedom was important, building wealth for the future had to start as early as possible. Month 9 to 10, major debt payoffs and credit score boosts. By now, Mark's credit score was approaching 650, and he had paid off more than half of his debt. His momentum was unstoppable. He increased his payments on larger loans, snowballing his income into his remaining credit card debts. His determination, coupled with the lessons he learned from trial and error, was paying off. He also learned the power of credit utilization. By keeping his credit card balances low compared to his available credit, his score jumped significantly. He kept his utilization rate below 30%, which gave his credit score another boost. Month 11 to 12, the final stretch. In the last few months, Mark doubled down on his efforts. His income from side hustles had increased as he took on more freelance clients. He had become more disciplined with his money and now had a robust savings plan, continuing to contribute to his investments while aggressively paying down debt. As the year closed out, Mark paid off the final chunk of his $100,000 debt. He watched as his credit score, which had been in the 300s at the start of the year, now crossed the 800 mark. It was a moment of pride, relief, and triumph. The lessons learned. Mark's financial transformation was not without its mistakes. There were months when he overspent, times when he was tempted to give up, and moments where trial and error felt like more error than progress. But Mark learned that persistence was key. He built better habits, found creative ways to earn more money, and kept his eyes on his goal. At the end of 1 year, Mark wasn't just debt-free. He was rich in discipline, knowledge, and financial security. His credit score was a testament to his hard work and dedication, and the future looked brighter than ever.